Welcome back to Podland. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined by Ian and a recently wilderness boy, Jason. How was your hike?
What's up?
Up in the mountains of Los Angeles. Where'd you go? San Bernardino?
San Jacinto.
Oh, same thing.
It's the second tallest mountain in Southern California. My legs are pretty shot today.
I bet like every single vein is like popping out right now.
It was painful. It was a humbling weekend. So we backpacked. We camped up in the mountain on Saturday night. And well, it's safe to say I haven't done much physically over the winter, so it was a little painful. I'm a little tight today.
Winter? You live in Orange County.
Yeah. So let's calm down there.
It's been 70 for like a year.
Yeah. You haven't seen your temperature gauge change from 7. So
Did you have to drink your own pee?
No, but there was multiple Bear Grylls drinking his own pee jokes. But
did
I
you
would've actually done it.
did you have to pee on anybody after a jellyfish sting?
Yeah,
that happens.
jellyfish, Ian.
that happened surfing. But no, I
No,
didn't.
no. They fly too. I don't know
Oh,
if
they
you guys
fly.
know that.
Oh, interesting.
So.
Very
You didn't see any? They're very like prominent in Southern California.
Nick, walk us through your new and improved. I'm just changing the topic.
Ian's being muted.
Look, comedy is just throwing darts at a wall to see what sticks, and that one didn't stick. So I'm pivoting. Nick, walk us through your new and improved, although I'm not sure it's improved, background. What's going on?
my
You in your new
God.
house?
Okay, you
Jason.
jackass.
Give them
This wall will be filled in. I'll
walk
get
us
a
through it.
better
No, well,
camera
give us
angle.
talks about the situation. You moved houses, right?
Moved. Yeah, so I have an office space now, so I can decorate it however I want. Got a couple posters up, filled in the bookcase quite a bit. There's a lot on the ground you're not seeing. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how this will turn out.
Jason,
It looks
Jason,
better.
this is fine.
I'm giving
This
him a
is
hard time.
fine.
I'm giving him a hard time. This is great. This is a great improvement. You got the Star Wars poster in the back there. A lot of fun little Easter eggs on the shelf. This is good. No, I'm
He's
giving my
patronizing.
stamp of
He's
approval.
patronizing you, Nick. Okay.
I know exactly what he's doing. All right. Well, after Jason's muting of Ian, I'm gonna mute Jason.
Okay.
And let's get into some trailers. Got 3 new ones this week, almost 2. But Mission Impossible gave us a little Monday morning gift.
And boy, was it
first-
sweet.
Let's talk about 3,000 Years of Longing, new George Miller movie. Ian, you
Absolutely
mentioned it-
crazy.
You mentioned it last week. It was your honorable mention
Yep.
in our most anticipated movie draft. I was not expecting a trailer so soon. Like it felt like you spoke it into existence because when I sat down for Men, it played right before, and I had no idea. My first experience with it was in the theater, and then I was like,
What I'm surprised about is I thought it was going to be like a late fall release, like a November release, but we're getting it this summer actually. So
yeah.
I'm actually pretty pumped, and I was very happy to hear that you watched the trailer for it. So I immediately looked it up on YouTube, and boy, is it an eyeful to watch. It's absolutely insane.
George Miller's
think
a maniac.
I think if that trailer would have come out before we recorded the last episode, it would have been on one of our lists, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
easily,
probably. Yep.
1,000%.
So I think the new like go-to in movies these days is just like throw anything and everything in your trailer, and come up with the story through it, because it seems like we're getting a lot of movies these days with that kind of structure. So it looks great. I'm excited. So,
Yeah, I mean, George Miller, most prominently known for Happy Feet 2 and Babe 2, Pig in the City. So curious to see what he does with this source material.
I actually hate what you just said there.
But it's
so,
not
no.
incorrect.
He's most known for Happy Feet 2. So
Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2, but Happy Feet 2 is better. So
okay, but you said But you said Happy Feet before you said Happy Feet 2, so I don't believe you.
You guys are going down some crazy rabbit trails here.
Listen, Jason, we just are throwing darts at the wall, seeing what sticks. Okay.
I'm
respect
listing off his filmography, and Ian has a problem with it.
Oh, he hasn't reached that one film yet that came out in 2015. So.
I liked it. Looks great. Summer. What?
Mad Max Fury Road. For people who are very curious as to what George Miller has done in the past, Mad Max Fury Road is probably my favorite action movie of all time. So that's
I'm gonna
all
mute
I'm gonna
him.
say. We can continue now.
All right. Let's move to a divisive topic. New Disney Plus show She-Hulk.
I feel like we didn't even talk about the trailer.
I
don't know
like-
what that was.
What are we supposed to say? What are we supposed to say?
What do you want?
Yeah.
Ian is undercutting me at every turn. I feel it's best to just move on. People can look up this trailer. It looks crazy.
Man.
Moving
Are you
on.
squeaking
We're
over there,
talking-
Jason?
We're talking about She-Hulk now.
It's like I feel like
Jason.
listeners like what just happened?
No, the listener is supposed to be like, oh, Ian said that this movie trailer is crazy. It looks really good, and it's coming out this summer. I'll go watch the trailer and put the podcast on pause right now because they have the power to do that.
Hey, you know, this is the part of the podcast where we're all really comfortable with each other. So there's some animosity, some butting heads, which honestly, this is what everyone says is the great part of podcasts.
Yeah,
you know, it's the.
But then you start putting people on mute, Nick and Jason. Okay, and then people are like, "Wow, that was rude."
You muted
that
me
was
over
rude.
Babe 2, Pig in the City, a George Miller directed joint.
You mentioned She-Hulk. Can we just get on with that?
Can I just say something about
Yes
about 3,000 years of longing first?
Jason's allowed to talk. Ian is not. Go.
Ian, you're muted for the second time. This trailer looks crazy. Is it just me, or do I feel like there's a part of this movie that feels in the same vein as a Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness or a Everything Everywhere All at Once? It's kind of like this similar vibe of the multiverse plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Ian, put a pin in that. I would agree with you, Jason. I think just like the genie concept and the concept of wishes, and then like the way the trailer was edited definitely made it seem like there's going to be some timeline hopping and some storytelling. But yeah, the way the trailer was edited definitely gave me like Everything Everywhere All at Once vibes with just how quickly paced it was. Yeah, I definitely thought the same thing.
It looks crazy though. I like the way it looks, and I mean, anytime George Miller comes out with a new movie, it's kind of like a special event because it doesn't happen very often. What, Ian? Ian, just speak your mind.
No,
what's going on?
I'm just begging Nick that he doesn't say anything right now, especially about Happy Feet or Babe. Please, Nick. Please.
Well,
You're muted. Okay? You already mentioned She-Hulk, so we can go right into She-Hulk. Okay?
Let's go to She-Hulk. Right, our segments are going to get better. That was a disaster of a segment.
Yeah,
but
it was.
As we
That
go
was-
on, it's going to be better.
That was Ian just jumping ship.
How is it my fault?
Because I'm blaming you, because I'm the one leading, and you were not letting me lead.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right, Nick,
We're
take it
bringing
away.
the drama on episode 12. Let's do it.
Take it away, Nick. Take it away.
Disney Plus She-Hulk Attorney at Law gave us our first glimpse of the titular character in one of the most anticlimactic trailers I've ever seen.
Yes, and
think it looks
the second part of that second part of that title is real, by the way. It actually is She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
You keep assuming that you think I'm going to lie to the listeners, and everything I have said has been real, genuine truth, the cold, hard facts, and you feel the need to fact-check facts as if I'm just going to lie all of a sudden. Like, yeah, I'm going to wake up and call She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Oh, my gosh.
I'll let you guys talk about your thoughts
Jason,
first.
talk about She-Hulk, please. What did you think of it? Because I am about to cancel my Disney Plus subscription.
Attorney at Law, is that the title of like the comic books? Or does she have her own?
She's a
comic
lawyer in the comics. Yes.
book? Okay. Does she have her own comic book, or does she just pop up in the Hulk comics?
She has her own run.
Okay.
She's Bruce Banner's cousin.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that they related.
Yes.
So I've obviously not been a big fan of really any of the Disney Plus shows, other than, I mean, the only exception has been WandaVision and obviously The Mandalorian. Everything else in the Star Wars and Marvel realm that they have done, live action, not a fan of one bit. And I thought that Hawkeye was by far the worst Disney Plus show, and I thought to myself, there's just no way that you could get worse than Hawkeye. Well, I take it back, because this trailer looks laughably bad. I mean, it is almost like a parody. I almost thought I was watching a parody or a fan-made trailer of She-Hulk, because it was so bad. Everywhere from the CGI was terrible. The acting and the dialogue felt cringy and bad. And just the story at large, it just is like, what am I watching here? Like, I mean, it almost diminishes Hulk. Like, who is this random chick? And all of a sudden, like, now she's a female version of the Hulk, but she doesn't even turn into it. Just looks like she turns green. It's like, it doesn't even look like she's bigger or stronger. It's just like, it's her version, but now she's a bad CGI green version of herself. It's all so weird. The trailer itself was cut weird. The sound was bad. The music was bad. I was like, what is going on here, dude?
Yeah, it also was weird because it feels like there's a lot of hype for like Disney trailers and Marvel trailers. Like they have been hyping up the new Thor trailer, which is dropping tonight during the NBA. If it comes out while we're recording, we'll give our thoughts on it really quick. But like, they historically, like, they put their trailers in these big spots and they hype them up for, like, they give these little teaser trailers for the trailer and they really hype it up, and then they like dropped this one on like a Thursday afternoon at like 3. Like, yeah. I feel like they know that the tone isn't great. I also read that some of the VFX teams were told by Disney to make her smaller, because she just turns into like a 6'5" woman. It's very strange. Like, it's like she doesn't turn any taller than like your average WNBA player.
I was just gonna say, it looks like she just like became a WNBA player. Like, maybe she can compete with Brittany Griner. I don't know.
She would get dunked on by Brittany Griner.
She can't actually, because Brittany's still stuck in Russia.
Oh my gosh, Ian. Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, I'm not on a good roll tonight, guys.
I mean, I'm looking at a still from the trailer of her in Hulk form, but in a suit, like she's at her attorney's office or whatever, and it's like a joke. I mean, the CGI, is straight up a joke.
What's the other Marvel? Is it a show that's coming out like next month or something?
Miss Marvel comes out in like 2 weeks.
Miss Marvel, that's it. Miss Marvel looked better than She-Hulk. I'll just say that.
Both.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I will be honest. I probably right now, I would say I'm not going to watch it. I just won't even watch it. I've already suffered through Hawkeye. I always thought, hey, I will watch anything Marvel. I don't think I can do it.
Your Jason, Hawkeye is my Moon Knight.
Jason, what happened to For the Pod? Okay.
Jason's ducking on all this stuff.
Yeah. What happened to For the Pod, Jason? No, I'll put my 2 cents in on this. I am not excited for it. I'm in the same boat as you guys, so I'm gonna watch it.
What happened before the pod?
Hey, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh.
But I am not excited, and I think Disney needs to pull a Netflix, because Netflix is essentially cutting half its stuff, which Disney doesn't have to cut stuff, but they need to up their quality a lot more, because I know they have twice the budget as Netflix does, and they are just pumping bad show after bad show after bad show. So I think, if they don't hit the chords right on She-Hulk, I think people are going to start protesting. I mean, people already are protesting about how poor their shows have been, aside from the OGs, WandaVision and Mandalorian. But I'm just not excited for this. So,
yeah, I want to talk really fast before we move on to the next trailer. She gets her powers in the comics. I don't know if it's this way in the trailer, because we do see Bruce Banner Hulk, which, how is he Hulk again? He's just regular Hulk.
Yeah, that's very
He was regular Hulk, and then maybe I made this up, but he was like Bruce Banner for a second in the trailer too. Like,
No,
is he going back and forth now?
No,
he was normal Hulk at the end of
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yes.
Yeah, and his arm was still broken. It was in a cast, right? Bruce Banner's was in that post-credit scene.
yeah.
And now his arm looks fine as Hulk.
Wait, so it was Bruce Banner at the end of Shang-Chi, but in the She-Hulk trailer, he's still like Bruce Banner / Hulk guy?
It was Hulk. He was like Hulk size, but he was talking normal, right?
Yeah, so it's...
Like, it wasn't the Professor Hulk thing.
Oh, it wasn't?
No,
I'm pretty sure it was Professor Hulk.
Maybe it was.
I'll have to watch it again, but I really don't want to.
Like the model that they have for Hulk, I mean, I guess they've kind of perfected it at this point. It looks great. Abomination coming back is also cool. I like that they're bringing all the OG Incredible Hulk characters back, because that's kind of the forgotten stepchild of the MCU.
Right.
That's cool. I read that Wong is gonna be in it, because of course
Wong's
he is.
in everything.
He's in everything.
Yeah.
So it looks cool. She gets the Hulk powers via blood transfusion, because she has some like sickness or something.
She's the new Morbius.
She's the new Morbius, and it's basically the same thing as like Thor: Love and Thunder, with Jane Foster getting sick and needing the Thor powers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's all just one story.
Yeah, it feels redundant, doesn't it? Like, it feels like some of this stuff.
If they do it that way, yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they explain her having the Hulk powers, but historically, that is the route that they go.
Okay, before we move on, I want to ask you guys one question. Do you think this Phase 2 of Marvel right now is on a track of going downhill? Or
Phase 4?
Is it? Oh, it's Phase
4.
Phase 4.
Oh, it is Phase 4. Do you think it's on the track of going downhill right now, or
I think it's legitimately on thin ice.
We have.
I really do.
Do we have one movie in Phase 4 so far?
No. We have multiple.
It's been everything post No Way Home. So Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and then WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki.
You meant
What
Endgame,
If.
not No Way Home. Okay. You said
So,
No Way Home.
Of all the movies, of all the Phase 4
No Way
movies,
Home. No Way Home is in.
it's in Phase 4. I mean, Shang-Chi is in Spider-Man. No Way Home are the only two movies that I think have been good movies. And none of the shows. It's tough. I would also say my last comment on this is my disappointment really isn't even in She-Hulk itself, because I don't know that character. I don't give a crap about that character. Like, I don't care. Like, sure, make a She-Hulk show and it's gonna be tailored, but whatever. What's really disappointing is I feel like they've done a disservice to the Hulk character, Bruce Banner, and I think this show is just going to bring him down even more, and it's gonna take him on a disappointing plot line, and that's what I get bummed out about. Same thing with Hawkeye. You know, if you want to make the show about, I don't even remember the girl's name, sure, but like you rope, Kate Bishop, then whatever. I don't care. You can make a show meant for little kids or little girls, and you can have Kate Bishop and whatever. But it brought Hawkeye down. Hawkeye seemed such a lame character after that show, and I fear that's going to do the same to Bruce Banner.
Ian, you know what's interesting?
What's that?
That Jason's least favorite MCU show is the one with Florence Pugh in it. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting,
That's
actually.
super. I mean, the more that you think about that's interesting.
That actually blows my mind.
Look,
Actually, and we're moving on, because Jason,
we should
said
move on.
that was
We
your
should
last
move on.
comment on it, so we're moving on. Actually,
We can't even view Pew Corner. We can't even look at it right now.
So next trailer, this actually leaked the other night. I tried to send it to you guys, and it got taken down before you could see it. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 trailer dropped this morning, and it looks chef's kiss. It looks so good. It I don't even know, like, off the top of my head 2023 releases, but that moved up to number 1. I am so excited for it.
Well, you know why that is? Is because Fallout slapped.
So Fallout is legitimately so good.
It's so good. And this trailer is just amazing. From the music, just the music alone was awesome. And the different cuts with the different characters and their looks and the fast cars and that sick stunt that Tom Cruise does, jumping off
them all.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's just like the icing on the cake is the fact that Tom Cruise does all of his own stunts. So I am so pumped, and I'm up there with you, Nick. I think this is like 2023, like most anticipated movie for me so far. So
it was supposed to come out this summer, and then it got pushed to like Thanksgiving, and then they fully pushed it back out to 2023, and then Dead Reckoning Part 2 2024 because they're filming them back to back. So a little part of me died when they pushed it out of 2022, but just getting this little taste of it looked great. Right. Jason, what did you think of the trailer?
I am super excited about the movie itself. So I'm in total agreement of you guys, and the footage that it showed looked awesome. I don't think it was a good trailer, actually. I'm disappointed in the cut of the trailer itself. So a trailer is supposed to hype you up for a movie, and I guess it did that because I got to see some really awesome stuff. I mean,
think of it more of like a teaser because the movie's more of the, like it's over a year away.
Yeah, and I honestly have to disagree with you, Jason. In terms of, this has been a common trend for like the last 3 episodes. It's like, in terms of good trailers, like this shows nothing about the plot. So I think it's not a bad trailer whatsoever.
It just felt off. Like the music was like a very subtle tone. Like the music choice was like this very soothing, calm,
but then it built up to like the dun dun dun.
Yeah, but even the theme song was like very subtle. But the footage that was showing was like this jam-packed action sequence.
Yeah,
but it just like the footage and the music didn't seem to fit or pair with each other. There was no dialogue, so it was just kind of odd. If it was just a teaser trailer, I'd be down for that. But it was like a long trailer. It felt like a full-on trailer. So I'm just saying the trailer itself felt a little weird, but I mean, Rogue Nation and Fallout were like unbelievable, and Ghost Protocol. I mean, like the last 3 movies have
and the third one, like the first 2 are pretty slow and pretty bad. Like I don't really consider the Mission Impossible franchise like kickstarting until J.J. Abrams directed that third one with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like that movie is like amazing.
Yeah, no.
And then they've been on like a run to the point where every sequel, it feels like it's getting better and better. And Fallout is one of my favorite action movies like ever. Like it's so good.
Yeah, Fallout's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill in Fallout. Oh my gosh.
Jay, I think we reviewed Fallout on our old podcast. Like I think that's out there somewhere.
We probably did.
Hey guys, I'm still here.
That was a 2018 release, wasn't it?
I'm still here, guys. I'm still here.
You know, if we ever get big enough and we start like a Patreon or something, maybe we can drop some of our old episodes.
We can't forget about episode 0, okay? So
and then we have episode 0, our test episode we did but never released. Yep.
So we won't disclaim the movie, but all right, let's move on, Nick.
Okay, I have 3 quick things I want to get your guys' thoughts on, and then we'll get into the reviews. First one is Margot Robbie is doing an Ocean's 11 project set in London in the 1960s with Jay Roach attached to direct. Does this move the needle for you guys at all?
I didn't see Ocean's 8. I don't know if you guys did.
Oh, we reviewed it on our old podcast.
Okay.
It's an old episode somewhere. Yeah.
That's another episode.
So, and I that's because I just haven't heard good stuff. So that's why I haven't seen it. But I mean, I'm always down for a heist movie, except clearly for Ocean's 8. But I don't have many thoughts to this. I'm throwing it to you guys because you guys have seen Ocean's 8, and so
I mean, if it being set in the 60s, and it's like an Ocean's adjacent, like they specifically said the IP is going to be Ocean's 11. Like, is she just going to be Danny Ocean's mom?
I mean, I guess, or
like, I feel like the timeline sort of makes sense. Like, it's just going to be like a prequel.
yeah. I mean, if they, I mean, I could see it being one. If it's called Ocean's 11, then yeah, I can easily see it being a prequel because Danny's Ocean's 11 took place. What year did that come out? Early 2000.
2002, right? 2002, I believe.
So it could be his mom.
Yeah, the Variety and Deadline article said that it's an Ocean's 11 prequel.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. If there's somehow, this makes me wonder if it's like a 10 Cloverfield Lane situation where they have a script, and the only way that they're gonna market it is if they stamp a big old IP tag on it.
Right. Which, I mean, 10 Cloverfield Lane was great. So
yeah, it was great. It's just also out of the 3 Cloverfield movies, it's the least Cloverfield-y.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So I'm always down for a heist movie. So
Jay, what do you got? Anything here?
Your original question was, does it move the needle at all for me? And the answer is no. I think anything beyond an Ocean's 14 doesn't get me excited.
Yeah. And I can see that because it's not an original film, so it's loosely based off of Ocean's 11. So
I don't quite understand the rationale or the appeal to making spin-offs off of Ocean's franchise. Like, the Ocean's 11 movie was made to be a single standalone movie, and it did so well that they made 2 more. It was never this big IP, property that they wanted to turn into a franchise. It's a weird thing to turn into this sprawling franchise. So
right,
I find it a little interesting.
Ocean's, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I had like a stroke while I watched this movie, but Ocean's 8, Sandra Bullock's character was Danny Ocean's brother, correct?
Wow.
I don't even remember it, to be honest.
I think so, and I think they also implied that Danny Ocean was dead during the last scene.
Wow, that's bold.
Because I think she visits like his grave. I'm fairly certain.
I'm vaguely remembering that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's.
It was weird.
Yeah, it's. I with how Ocean's 8 went, I'm not super looking forward to it, but I do love Margot Robbie, and she's probably the biggest actress right now. Like, you throw her in anything, and she's pretty good about scripts, and it's like a mega blockbuster. So I guess the Margot Robbie aspect does have me excited. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah,
I guess you're just taking the original Suicide Squad out of the equation with that.
I mean, she was the best part of that because she got her own sequel. Like, she was easily the best part of that movie. And that movie also did make money even though it sucked, which was unfortunate. Moving on. Daredevil is back on Disney Plus. Series is in the works officially.
No, do the emoticons that you put in our little list.
Daredevil is back, but it's on Disney Plus. That's bad. The series is in the works with Matt Corman and Chris Ord set to write. I am very nervous about this, if I'm being honest with you gentlemen here. These guys' previous credits are like a show called Covert Affairs and a movie Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito. And that's like it. And with how I have seen the Disney Plus I mean, we just talked about it, how they have handled the quality of their shows and how they've handled the CGI and just like the overall tone. Them taking the Netflix Daredevil and putting it in on their streaming platform worries me to no end.
Yeah, I'm with you on that because the show on Netflix ended so strong, and by the end it had like such a big cult following, and it still does, that this is playing with fire essentially. I mean, so many people have requested a reboot of the show and for like Daredevil to come back, but this is not the way that I was hoping that it would come back. So I'm in that same boat with you, Nick. So
Yeah, if I'm Kevin Feige, I don't know, man. I mean, is he in charge of all things on Disney Plus as well?
I believe so. I believe he's still the producer because it's still AC or MCU, not ECU. MCU,
Yeah.
like adjacent. Like he's still producing it.
I just I
wonder how
I'm confused by these decisions, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Because the movies budgets, you like feel them. Like, say what you want about Doctor Strange, and you can go back and like our review.
Or Eternals is a better.
The movies looked good. Like, Doctor Strange was one of the craziest looking MCU movies in a minute. Whether you like the movie or not, like, it had a cool tone. Eternals, okay. Shang-Chi was really cool. Even like, I don't know, Black Widow had some cool stuff in it. Like, that you feel the budget of the movie. Where like, I feel like the MCU Disney Plus shows, they're like severely lacking at that quality.
yeah,
I mean, again, I think I said this in an episode about Moon Knight, but in an episode about Moon Knight. I can kind of forgive the CGI stuff and the lack of a CGI budget. I just can't forgive kind of the bizarre decisions they're making from a storytelling perspective and a continuity perspective. It's just very confusing and convoluted, and I don't know. I only watched the first season of Daredevil, which I liked.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, brother, you are in for a treat.
yeah.
I think they put it on Disney Plus right now. Season 3 is legitimately like one of my favorite superhero things.
Is it really on Disney Plus right now?
Yeah, it moved in March, I believe.
Jason, it is one of the best. I'm still claiming it as a Netflix show. It is one of the best like non-Disney like Marvel shows ever. Actually, it is the best. It is the best because Luke Cage sucked, and
Jessica Jones was iffy. Iron Fist did suck. Did you ever watch the Defender show, Ian? Where it was like all
I
of them?
didn't. Nope.
That was pretty fun, but of course, Matt Murdock was like the best part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason, you should definitely go back.
You're in for a
and
treat,
watch that.
brother.
You are
check it
in
out.
for a treat.
I'll check it out.
I feel like they're definitely bringing back. I'm blanking on his name. Charlie. What's his name? Charlie what?
Charlie. Oh man, I completely forget.
He was in No Way Home, so I feel like
Yeah.
they're implying that he's gonna come back. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna soft reboot it, or like it's be a season 4, or how they're gonna do this. Like maybe they could have
Charlie
the
Cox.
multiverse. Yeah, Charlie Cox. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Like the multiversal shifts of the last couple of movies explain it. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how they do it, but I'm very, very worrisome about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the final thing, really quick. The last 3 episodes of Stranger Things, and we're getting the first 7 episodes in 5 days, same day as the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. So Friday, we are in for a treat. They are, I think I sent this to you. These episodes are like movie length. Episode 7 is 1 hour and 38 minutes. Episode 8 is 1 hour and 25 minutes. Episode 9 of this upcoming season of Stranger Things, 2.5 hour episode.
That's absolutely insane.
That's not an episode of a that's just a movie that you stuck at the end.
It's a movie. But like that's exciting because when people first heard rumors about I can't remember if it was Infinity War or Endgame's cut being like 4.5 hours long, 5 hours long. People were like, I will sit down for a 4.5 hour long Avengers movie. And I would agree with that. So I am very excited to see these episode times. So I don't know. Well, what are your guys' thoughts on it? I'm excited. So
I'm excited, but it also is it in their contract that they can't do like more than 9 or 10 episodes? Like, why does an episode have to be? Why does the finale have to be 2.5 hours? I feel like you could cut that somewhere and cut it again and do like the last 4 like hour and a half.
Even if you cut a 2.5 episode in half, that hour and 15-minute episode still a really long episode. And these are absurdly long episodes. I mean, these are movies, to your point.
Yeah.
These are 3 movies. It's like they've made a trilogy in the final 3 episodes of this season. It's if anything, it has caught a lot of people's attention, and it's another one of those kind of news headline-y things that reminds people, oh shoot, Stranger Things is back after many years of being gone.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic that I don't want to get into, but
reviews are coming in, and it's pretty positive reviews. I think from what I have seen, from people's reviews and different articles I've read, they've said it's a wildly different take on Stranger Things. Like, they're going down a much darker road, and which makes sense. You kind of it's like Harry Potter when you start out the Sorcerer's Stone. It's a very kiddie movie because the actors are super young.
Right.
And by the time you get to Deathly Hallows, like, it's a very dark franchise.
Yeah.
Because it kind of matured with the actors, and it sounds like they're doing something very similar with Stranger Things, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
But I think a common thread is that it's kind of bogged down by these crazy run times. So it doesn't sound like people are speaking positively to these huge episodes, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we're going from Disney Plus shows that are 20, 30 minutes long and complaining about how short they are, and now we're going into the Stranger Things season, and are we going to complain about the 2.5 hour long runtime?
I mean, it's definitely something. We'll see if it works, because maybe it'll spark something like going forward. But
or maybe we'll watch it and we're like, wow, it's already over. Like, we didn't even notice the time going back. So
yeah, I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. I'm slowly getting more and more excited for this season of Stranger Things. I rewatched season 3 semi-recently, and like, when there's a new Stranger Things on the horizon, I get like, there's a little pep in my step. I'm like, oh yeah, I really do like, even the seasons that are mid, like, watching Stranger Things just feels like I'm putting on a big old blanket, and I just feel good. Like, Stranger Things, watching Stranger Things is just nice. Like, I like it.
Yeah, no.
So 9 episodes, and they're dropping the first
7. And then 2 on July 1st.
That's interesting.
So the hour 25-minute episode, and then the 2.5 hour episode. So it'll be, what's that math? 4 hours. So basically, you're getting 4 hours in July.
So next week's episode is going to be crazy, because we are reviewing Top Gun, and then we have to talk about the first 7 episodes of Stranger Things, and we have to talk about the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan.
Assuming we watch all 7 episodes of Stranger Things. Now
you fool. You fool. Of course we will.
I might not. I'm going to be up north. Okay?
Where are you going?
I'm just going up north.
Oh, he's just going up north.
I'm just going up north.
Where are you going?
We're going to spoil that for you.
No, please don't, because Stranger Things is so good. It's like wrapping a blanket.
It
just is nice. It's just nice watching Stranger Things.
To my earlier point, guys, I mean, we talked about Stranger Things very briefly a couple episodes ago, and like, we kind of glossed over it. We were like, oh yeah, Stranger Things, man, I kind of like forgot about that show.
Yeah.
It's pretty objectively impressive how Netflix has kind of somehow ramped up the excitement for this show in the last couple of weeks, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm ready for Stranger Things season 4.
It's because they dropped the first teaser like a year and a half ago. And it was David Harbour like at a mine in like Russia, and I'm like, oh crap, yeah, Stranger Things. And then like a year and a half goes by, and it's like, oh, we're finally getting the season now. So it got me excited, and then I forgot about it kind of, and then it came back again. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. So
All right, into the reviews. Jason,
All right.
since you did not watch either of these, why don't you guide us? And
in
Ian
Jason's
and I,
defense, you kind of threw the second
Yeah.
movie like last minute. So.
I watched this like right before I moved a couple days ago, and I was so like, I don't want to say blown away by it, but I was like so impressed that I was like, I have to talk about this. Like it was either one of you watch it and we could like have some banter and talk about it, or I was going to talk about it for 20 minutes by myself.
Well, let me take it from here, gentlemen. To your point, you stole my thunder. Unfortunately, I did not watch either of these films we're going to review. And we have to be relatively short. Well, we're already at the 40-minute mark. So let's do 10 to 15 minutes on each of these ones. But couldn't get around to watching it. My apologies. Crazy busy week. But we're going to start with our main review first. The main review is going to be Men, which I believe was on Ian's most anticipated movie list last week.
It was number 3, I believe.
Was it 3? It was 3 or 4, something like that.
No, it was like 4 or something.
Yeah, 3's a little high. This is the new A24 movie. It's directed by Alex Garland, who directed some unbelievable movies. He directed Annihilation and Ex Machina. So a pretty good track record for this guy. It stars, I don't know any of the people in the movie. Do you guys know any of these people?
You don't know Rory?
Roy Kinnear?
I'm surprised you don't know Rory.
He's a BBC actor, and he's in like the 007 movies. He got to start in like theater.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Here's the synopsis. I also, now that I'm leading the movie section here, I'm disregarding the IMDb movie section synopsis that we used to use because they stink. And I'm just going to go with Letterboxd. Men, again, directed by Alex Garland. In the aftermath of a personal tragedy, Hopper retreats alone to the beautiful English countryside, hoping to find a place to heal. But someone or something from the surrounding woods appears to be stalking her. What begins as simmering dread becomes a fully formed nightmare inhabited by her darkest memories and fears, a.k.a. Men. Ian, give us your initial thoughts on Men.
Man, spoiler-free thoughts. It looks phenomenal. It sounds great. The soundtrack actually captivated me, but I was not blown away by that because I haven't seen Devs, but both X and Annihilation both had like the same kind of tone. Like Alex Garland really likes his monotone soundtracks, but they fluctuate throughout the scene, and it's beautiful, and it just encapsulates you into what you're watching. But honestly, I came out of this movie confused, and Nick and I were talking about this after or before the pod. Like, we've slowly just disliked it more and more as time's gone on. And I'm just, it definitely is not my favorite Alex Garland. Definitely not one of my favorite A24s. Again, it looks and sounds amazing. It's just nothing progressed in the story. No lessons were learned. If there's depth, I can't find it. And if there is, I don't know what it's telling me. So those are my spoiler free thoughts. Actually, I will add that Jesse and Rory added great performances. I won't take away from their performances, but just the story wise, it never grabbed me. So, Nick,
here I am. Yeah, I kind of agree with everything you said. It does swing for the fences, and for the first 75% of the movie, I remember sitting in the theater thinking like, man, is this gonna be like my new favorite of the year? And then it like the third act kicks in and it really falls apart for me. I was kind of in the same boat where I left the theater and I went home and I thought about it for a bit and I was like, yeah, this is like a 3, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like as the days progressed, it dropped down a little bit. And there's some stuff that we can talk about in spoilers that kind of bothered me, but I will commend Alex Garland for, he really does swing for the fences on all of his movies. The ideas and the themes are there. It didn't wrap up in a way, like it just feels like a nothing movie. Like it feels very empty and it feels very insincere.
And you said before the episode too that and I agree with you here, is that you're all for ambiguity in an ending, and I am too. I love, where an ending makes you question like what really happened or what you think comes next or what, whatever. And this movie ends very, ambiguous, but like not in the best way. So, and I would agree. I at first the movie just it started off so strong, and we'll get into spoilers. But
is this movie talking about political things like toxic masculinity or
in a way?
Yeah.
I have a take. We can talk about this in spoilers, but I have a take on that sort of. So
we could just go right into spoilers now. We just unloaded our general thoughts, so we can go right into spoilers.
You
now.
good to go into spoilers, Jay?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go spoiler talk. Why don't you start, Nick?
Yeah. So the titular thing in the movie is Jessie Buckley's husband commits suicide via jumping off a balcony before the events of the movie happens, and you see it via flashbacks, but it happens when she sits him down to ask for divorce, and you see this through the course of 3 or 4 flashbacks that like he kind of gaslights her when he does it. Like you can tell he's very unwell. He says that like, if you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. And so you see that he's very unstable. He like hits her, and then once she kicks him out of the house, that's when he goes and then kills himself. And he sustains various injuries from that because he lands on a gate. His hand is sliced, his ankle is broken, and his head is bashed in. Throughout the movie, Rory Kinnears plays several characters. So she goes to like a countryside Airbnb, and he is like the landlord who's there when she shows up to like give her, like show her around the property and such. And there's like a town next door, and like these trails are all around that you can like walk through and explore. When he leaves, that's when she starts to like, she experiences some weird stuff when she FaceTimes her friend and it starts to cut out. And then she goes on a walk through like it was like an old subway tunnel or something in the woods, Ian.
Yeah, you see it in the trailer, and she starts.
Yeah, it's when she like starts singing in the tunnel and it starts echoing.
And I will add, at this point in the movie, I'm fully like locked in. I am excited.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be great. And then Nick can keep explaining, but I'm locked in at this point right now. At the
other end of the tunnel, you see a person rise, which spooks Jessie Buckley's character, Harper. Her name's Harper? Is that my...
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, okay, Harper. She then goes back to the house, and you see that it's a fully shaved, bald version of Rory Kinnear's character, who is fully naked. No hair, head to toe.
He's got like some cuts on his body, too.
Has some cuts on his body, and he follows her back to the house, and she then calls the police when she sees him, and this is where I was like, okay, this movie's going in this direction, is when the police come and arrest like the naked stalker from the woods. You get like a glimpse really quick. One of the cops who's arresting the person is also Roy Kinnear.
Mm-hmm. And
I was like, oh.
And then
every single men is going to be played by Roy Kinnear. So when she eventually goes into the town and visits the pub and visits like she meets like a vicar and a tiny boy.
Yep.
They're all played by Roy Kinnear.
The CGI
But
on that boy was so bad.
It was really bad.
It was awful.
Imagine like Roy Kinnear's face CGI'd on like a 13-year-old boy's body.
Yeah,
Jason.
it was awful.
It was a little ridiculous.
It honestly scared me more than the mask he was originally wearing.
So all of these guys like treat her in a different way. Like the priest blames her for making her lust. The little boy cusses her out because he won't play with her. The landlord's like really conniving. The police officer like won't believe her. So my take on all of that, this long-winded explanation of the entire plot, is my takeaway from all of that was each character that Rory Kinnear portrayed was an aspect of her ex-husband's personality and like a different toxic trait of his. So you asking, is this like a commentary on toxic masculinity? I guess in a way, but it is also open to interpretation. I don't know if Ian got something different out of that, but like...
Yeah, I will add that at the beginning, when we have this flashback and her husband threatens to her that if she leaves him, he will kill himself. At the beginning, he also says alongside that he will haunt her for like the rest of her life. And that like that idea of him killing himself because they got a divorce will haunt her. So that kind of was like a thing that you had to keep in your mind too, because like, you know, is this just some random creepy dude, you know, living in a sewer or an old train tunnel naked, getting scratched up by the woods? Or is this, you know, could this be
like
her ex-husband? Yeah, could this be her dead husband like haunting her? I will say another big thing that people are questioning, and I've just been reading Reddit posts and Letterboxd reviews and whatnot, is did the husband kill himself or did he push his way through the flat above theirs to climb down on the balcony of their apartment to get into the apartment that she locked him out of? Because that seemed to be...
It did leave that part open for interpretation.
Yeah, because
I personally think he did kill himself because of what he said before.
Right, and that seems to be the strongest like motif. And like, you know, if you see the conclusion to this movie, which we'll talk about here in a second, you could probably say that yeah, he killed himself. He didn't accidentally push his way. But yeah, there's just a lot of things like the vicar. I will add the vicar is one of the bigger Rory characters in it.
Probably the second biggest.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of screen time.
He like when she first meets him, they talk for a while, and she basically explained that her dead husband punched her, and he said to her, did you give him time to apologize? And which sent her on a raging tirade that led to her walking away. And that was a big thing. The vicar believed that, you know, women should give men time to apologize after hitting them, you know, and so on and so forth, which obviously is very controversial. So, you know, that happened. And then... At this point, I'm still very much locked in. But then the third act comes along,
I was totally locked in at this point because then the third act starts, and the landlord comes back to the house, and she's being kind of chased by different versions of Rory Kinnear. Like it keeps changing whenever the lights at the property go out. They'll cut out and then they'll turn back on, and it's like a different version that you saw in the town or like around the area.
Yeah.
So like for a split second, it's like the naked guy, and then the lights will cut out, and then it's the little boy playing with like the mask, and then it'll cut out, and then it's like it's the vicar again. Yeah. So it does that for a while, and I don't know, maybe I overthought this, but she starts hacking away at this thing. Like at one point, it sticks its hand through like the mail slot of the door and she stabs the hand and it just slowly pulls out and it just slices this entire top of the hand like this, all like down. And
That's
each injury that she
evoked
on Rory Kinnear was an injury that her husband sustained in the fall. I don't know if I'm making a connection that's not there, but like
you are.
It seemed pretty clear because it lingered
100%.
on his body because it like he starts to hobble around and like its leg is broken after she breaks it and like its hand is sliced open and that you saw the dead husband's hand. It like hit this gate on its way down and his arm was like all busted open.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, you definitely
Ian, do you want to go into the final like 10 minutes of this?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is
Jason, buckle up.
Yeah, this is absolutely insane.
This is
so basically
unreal.
So she's being haunted and she tries to escape the property and she ends up hitting the landlord, Rory. She hits him on the road and she's like frozen in fear. He comes up to her, snatches the car away, drives away. She's left in the middle of the road and he drives away in her car. 2 minutes later, he's screaming back up the road, intending to hit her. She runs away. Eventually, she goes back to the property. I took that as like she can't escape this nightmare right now. And the car, slams into this post and whatnot. She's crawling back to the house. And this is where it really starts getting messed up. So what comes around the corner, in this awesome lighting, I will say, on the cinematographer's part and Alex's part, comes around the corner as the tree, if I'm correct on that. And then basically fast forwarding through pretty much all of this, each version of Rory gives birth to another in very unbelievably gruesome ways.
Oh boy, you see some bussy in this movie.
Unbelievably gross ways.
Oh my gosh.
He gives birth, blood and everything, to different Rorys, big and small.
And they all come out of the room with the injuries.
Yeah. And so you see the busted hand, you see the busted ankle, cuts on the head. The big thing is this. There's several hints early on in the movie with the tree version of Rory. There's a pedestal in the church where she meets the vicar that has this almost Green Man look to him. And I watched several reviews on YouTube that kind of referenced him in past A24 films, including The Green Knight, which I think is awesome. I don't know if Alex Garland is going for that. But so basically the Green Man, from what I'm interpreting, is like a foundation that if women don't cooperate in society, aka giving birth to repopulate the earth, like men are going to find a way to do it regardless. And hence why we have all these versions of Rory being rebirthed constantly over and over and over again. Because on the other side of this pedestal was this sculpture of this face of a woman giving birth. And whenever they showed that part of the pedestal, it was red in color. And then whenever they showed the Green Man's face, it was green. So that's my interpretation of it. And I think that's what ultimately leads. So basically, after this nightmarish ending where she witnesses all of these births, her husband eventually comes out of the body. This is her husband. And he sits on a couch and he's like, look at me, look what you did. This is all you. And then randomly it cuts to her friend showing up to help her because at this point she has told her friend all about this person stalking her and this person not believing her and the landlord being weird. So she came to essentially rescue Jessie Buckley's character. And Jessie is sitting drenched in blood. I believe the knife is still with her. And she looks up and sees her friend pregnant and she smiles. And believe it or not, Jason, it cuts right there. And I know we probably didn't give the best description of the movie, but it is absolutely insane. And the third act just really, for me, it tears the movie apart. Because I was expecting more of a concrete reason why this was happening. and we absolutely got nothing like that. And like what I said before, I'm all about an ambiguous ending, but this was a little far fetched.
It just felt empty for me.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys give it on Letterboxd?
I gave it a 2-star. Originally I gave it 3, but it fell a whole star for me just because I just, like I said, woke up just not liking it more each day since. And although I will give Jesse and Rory props for their awesome performances, this movie fell flat for me. So
I kind of was similar. I gave it a 3 initially, and then I sat on it and slept on it and prayed on it for a little while, and I moved it down to a 2.5. And I because there are aspects of it that I did like, but it is so sloppy in the back half that it just didn't really work for me. I have it like middle of the pack in my I've seen 50 A24 movies.
yeah,
And I have it probably like 32, I would say.
I have it sitting at the very bottom of my A24 list.
Oh,
So
all right.
Really?
Someone hasn't
Yeah.
seen Slices or Slice.
there is a lot of A24 that I haven't seen. So
So there was a lot of anticipation with this one, and sounds like it kind of fell flat for you guys.
yeah, I mean, directors have their, lesser films, and I think I would say this is Alex Garland's weakest, but it's just there's so many things that it like I said before, it could have depth that I just am missing, but if there is, it's very far-fetched, and I can't find it anywhere. So
It's interesting that his 3 main movies that he's done have all been about these female characters kind of being tormented by like
yeah, and that's
terrible guys.
that's a whole nother topic that I saw like on Reddit posts and letterbox reviews and whatnot, which directors have their style, but I mean, I think Ex Machina, I think that was a pretty big one for women. I don't know AI regardless. So
Well, let's move on. We spent a lot of time on that one, and so let's spend a short amount of time on this next guy.
No.
because I can't imagine it deserves a whole long. Well,
Jason, you shut up. You shut
guys-
your mouth.
You guys just spent 20
Holy
minutes.
cow.
You guys just spent 20 minutes describing the entire plot of Men. So I mean,
well, we did give spoilers in advance, so
yeah, you went from point A to
it's extremely hard to decipher Men, and I mean, you're not going to watch it, so you won't understand, but like we kind of had to do that. So
yeah. No, it sounds like a bizarre movie. I guess my input of Men would just be that
The gender
agree,
or the movie?
the gender. Here's my thoughts on Men as a whole. No, I agree that I enjoy ambiguous endings when there's a clear through line to the movie, and there's a clear idea of what the movie's about, and you're just left to fill in the last couple of pieces in the film, and maybe it gets you to think. It prods you a little bit into thinking about a bigger theme, and I can see what someone like Alex Garland is trying to do that here, but he leaves it so wide open that you're just like, what the heck did I even just watch? What was the point of that?
right.
So if you got to still be focused and be leading the audience in some capacity, you can't just make a bizarre movie and keep it completely wide open.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to our second interview of the episode.
Oh, thank God.
This one is based. I didn't know this, guys. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know this movie was a thing until this week when you guys were talking about it. I had zero idea, and not only did let me both step back here. When I did find out what it was, I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, "This movie looks stupid. It looks really dumb." This is kind of a half live action, half animated movie on Disney Plus, straight to Disney Plus, about Chip and Dale. which is basically like Alvin and the Chipmunks. And I'm like, what?
It's not basically Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's a 90s Disney show, you asshole.
It just was like, oh my gosh, this looks so dumb. But I heard that Andy Samberg was in it, and
John Mulaney.
And John Mulaney was
Seth
in it.
Rogen.
Like, oh, that's interesting. And then I looked it up a little bit more, and it's like, oh my gosh, hold on. Akiva Schaffer directed. This is basically just like a Lonely Island movie. This is just straight up a Lonely Island movie. So I am excited to watch it. I will probably watch it at some point this week. You two, I might watch it tonight. Who knows? It still looks dumb, but you guys are giving it rave reviews, so it's making me interested in watching it. But let's start with Nick. Nick, what did you think of Chip and Dale? Oh, hold on. I got to read the description. My bad. Here we go.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
That's all you need to read.
Rescue Rangers, this Alvin and Chipmunks type of thing. Decades since the successful television series was canceled. Oh, so this is like a sequel to this TV show thing.
Oh, yeah.
Chip has come to a life of suburban domesticity. What am I trying to say here?
I don't know. Oh my god.
He's living a domestic life of an insurance salesman. Dale, meanwhile, has had CGI surgery.
Yeah.
And works in the nostalgia convention circuit, desperate to relive his glory days. When a former castmate mysteriously disappears, Chip and Dale must repair their broken friendship and take on their Rescue Rangers detective personas once again to save their friend's life. Oh my gosh. Nick, what'd you think of this thing?
I didn't really know this was coming out this weekend. I hopped on Twitter Friday, Saturday, and I saw people raving about this movie, and I was like, oh, let me look this little thing up then. Again, saw that it was directed by Akiva Schaffer, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like The Lonely Island. Did this. And so I looked at the cast, John Mulaney, Andy Samberg, turned it on immediately.
Will Arnett is in this, apparently.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's Sweet Pete, baby.
J.K. Simmons, Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah, dude. The cast is awesome. This is maybe the biggest surprise for me of 2022. And before you say oh, what about Everything Everywhere All at Once? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that was an A24 movie directed by the people who did Swiss Army Man and had Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, of course that movie was going to be good. This is a straight to Disney Plus movie, based off of an IP. It's
an IP movie that has a bad IP movies are not doing well these days. So
this is Space Jam: A New Legacy died so that this movie could live.
Yeah.
The IP and references and cameos and Easter eggs and jokes that are fired off every 3 to 4 minutes had me chuckling. I was consistently chuckling from this time it started to it ending. Consistent, every 5 minutes. That's funny.
I'm assuming it's just all things Disney references.
No.
Nope.
No, it's not.
Oh.
They got away with so many cameos in this that I thought, is Disney gonna get sued?
Yeah.
It stretches what parody law, what you can get away with, because there are some cameos here that I was like, how is he in this movie looking this good?
Right.
And the animation looks so good because it's set in the real world Los Angeles, but Chip is still the 2D animation.
Yep. There's a lot of characters that are 2D animated.
Which one? Chip got the
Oh, Chip got the CGI. Dale. Yeah. No.
Dale was still 2D.
No, Dale was the CGI.
Okay.
Chip was 2D.
So Chip is still the 2D from the 90s TV show. Dale got CGI surgery, so he is a 3D character interacting with a 2D Chip the entire movie. It's so funny and original, and the cast did a great job. I mean, I could go on, but I'm sure Ian has some stuff to add. This is like a big thumbs up from me.
I love this. I woke up to a message this morning. Nick was like, "Ian, watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers." I was like, I guess I gotta watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers now. So saw the runtime. I was like, yeah, I could do this while getting a tattoo today. So I watched it while I was getting blasted by a needle. Let's calm down, okay? Nobody make any references there. And I was just laughing throughout that my tattoo artist had to be like, hey, you got to stop moving, okay? I was like, I'm sorry. This honestly was great. And I'm with Nick. It surprised me. I will say, we'll keep this short. I liked a review that said, Space Jam, a new legacy found dead in a ditch. That's basically sums up the movie. It's amazing. So I highly recommend you watch it, Jason. I think it's great, and I think you'll enjoy it. So
it's almost like they made this movie for adults first, because like Chip and Dale's 30 years old. Like it's all like millennial adults now who know what that is, showing it off to their kids. Like it's kind of in the vein of like, only thing I can compare it to, like, content wise, is like maybe the Lego movie, where like, yeah, it's technically a children's movie, but like adults are gonna get way more out of it.
Yeah.
If they're paying attention and like know what's going on.
Right.
It's hysterical. And also like a little dark at times.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
It
genuinely has a great plot as well.
Yeah.
Like the plot is, it's very cut and paste. You see a lot of these movies with, this plot, but it's great. And while you're writing on this great story, you see all this great animation, and the dialogue is amazing, and it just fits.
Yeah.
So
it's really quippy. The animation looks great. This is my favorite animated movie. I guess I can consider it that. Like animation like the animation looks the best since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Like the way that they integrated the 2D, 3D, like this, it looked really good, especially for a straight to Disney Plus movie. And I know this isn't a high bar to like cross, but I think this is easily the best Disney Plus original. Like almost certainly.
Yeah.
In terms of movies,
I think it's definitely up there, and I think it's way funnier if you know that it's directed by The Lonely Island.
Yeah.
And just like, who would have thought? So, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this instead of Halo while I'm getting tattooed, and honestly, it worked. So.
Does Alvin show up at some point?
Yes.
No, but he
does. For 2 seconds.
No. They dunk on Alvin and the Chipmunks every 30 seconds in this movie.
That's hilarious.
Make fun of Alvin and the Chipmunks
so is it not
much.
Is it not related to Alvin and the Chipmunks?
No, it's not. Chip and Dale was its own show back in the 90s, bro. It was a Disney show back in the 90s, and they'll run back at the beginning of the movie so you can kind of get an idea of what Chip and Dale were. But it was a show.
Did you ever watch it as a kid?
Never. No, I
remember like reruns, because it was like an early 90s show. I remember reruns on like Disney XD when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember very little snippets of it, but that's it. I grew up mostly on SpongeBob and then a little bit of Cartoon Network as well. But Chip and Dale, I mean, this movie makes me want to rewatch the show, like or watch the show, should I say? So, I don't know do we need to get into spoilers, Nick?
Oh, guys.
No, don't get into spoilers.
Guys,
I want to watch it now.
Guys. The new Thor trailer's out.
Okay.
Oh, we should live react to this right now.
Yeah, we definitely should. Are we done with Chip and Dale?
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yep, and I gave it
made my top 10. Loved it. Chip and Dale, Disney Plus.
I gave it a 3 star, and I highly recommend it to anybody who's interested in watching it. So.
Right. I do want to watch it, so I'll probably watch it honestly tonight. So let's do a live reaction of Thor. So everyone pull it up on the.
Should we
wait? I see one that's two.
No. We'll watch it.
How is it gonna work with all the audio?
Well, we'll just mute the audio. It's in your headphones.
Yeah, the audio is in my headphones, so you shouldn't hear the audio.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a. I have it pulled up. You do a countdown, and then I'll click play.
What?
Just
What's
pull
your
it up Nick? Just pull it up on your computer. Let's just watch it so it goes through your headphones, and then we can live react.
Like share the screen?
No, just pull it up on a browser on your.
Okay, so we're all watching it on our own, correct?
Yeah, but we'll start at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I have it pulled up. I'm ready to go.
Okay, I think I have the right one.
It's
2 minutes and 16 seconds.
I got 2 minutes.
It's straight from Marvel Entertainment on YouTube.
Okay.
Just look up Marvel Entertainment.
Okay.
So we talked about the Thor trailer. What was it? 2-3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Which is pretty sweet. And I remember saying that I feel like they held back a lot of what they were going to show in the teaser for Doctor Strange. Now, after watching Doctor Strange, I don't know if anything will that happened in Doctor Strange will translate to Thor, but they have to give a lot more in this trailer, right? I'm really hoping to see Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher. I'm hoping to see him. You think we're gonna see him in this trailer?
Let's find out. Let's just get right into it.
Are you ready, Nick? I'm just waiting on Nick. He seems to be
no.
struggling over here.
No, I'm not ready.
Nick, it's Marvel Entertainment on YouTube.
Nick is a little bit like the tech.
No, he's very tech
dad.
savvy. No, he's very tech savvy.
My Wi-Fi just sucks.
Well, you don't have Wi-Fi yet. You just.
You know what? I'm gonna mute you guys. I'm gonna mute myself, and then. Sorry, that's it. I'm watching it on my phone. Muting you guys. Tell me when to start.
Wait.
So Nick won't be live reacting with us then.
No. Nick, we'll give you a countdown.
Faces.
We'll give you a countdown, right? Because you can still hear us, right?
I can hear you, but you won't hear me.
Yeah, that's fine. Just unmute yourself after you watch the trailer. So we'll give you a countdown, all right? Nod your head if you...
I feel like Ian's doing this very convoluted, but we're running off here. So let's. You ready, Ian?
Yep.
All right.
3, 2,
1,
go.
Kids, get your popcorn now. Let me tell you the story
I
of
love
the
Korg,
space
bro.
Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god.
The speckled
After
jacket.
saving planet Earth for the 500th time, Thor set off on a new journey. Well, he got in shape. He went from dad bod to god bod.
Oh my god.
And after all that, he reclaimed his title
Oh.
as the one and only Thor.
There she is.
Oh, spoke too soon.
Ooh.
Jane?
Whoa. What's with that?
Oh shoot, she looks great.
The old ex-girlfriend.
The old ex-girlfriend.
What's it been like 3-4 years?
8 years.
6 days, give or take.
Oh.
Am I sensing feelings?
Bro, what happened to his eye?
Yeah, I'm very confused
The
by
only
his look.
ones who gods care about
Whoa.
is themselves.
No way. What?
So this is my vow. All gods shall die.
Bro.
That's so good.
I just want to say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
He's just my first bad guy.
Oh my god.
You never forget your first.
You are not like the other gods of kill.
'Cause I have something
Breaking
worth
news,
fighting
Christian
for.
Bale lost 60 pounds to play this role.
Let's see who you are. I take off your disguise.
Oh.
There's
Russell Crowe.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
You flick too hard, damn it!
Will you help him? And eventually, great.
Oh my god. Oh.
All right.
Well, that's exactly what you were hoping for, Jason.
All right.
We got
All
a
right.
lot of gore. We got a ton of gore. And some Russell Crowe in them.
It still looks very Marvel-esque. So, I'm excited.
Initial thoughts, guys. What'd you think, Ian?
I'm excited. I think it looks great. A lot of Taika Waititi Taika Waititi puns that are going to be thrown into here, which I'm sure Nick is not thrilled about. But I am excited for Christian Bale as the villain. So he lost like 60 pounds for this role. So
I feel like he doesn't need a lot to like motivation to lose 60 pounds or gain 60 pounds.
Right.
He just does it on a whim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of torn. Gore seems like such a super serious, dark villain, but the tone is, the classic Taika Waititi, silly, upbeat, silly, fun.
Right. Yep.
Very interesting. I love that scene where Russell Crowe, is he playing Zeus? He's playing Zeus, and he flicks off all of his clothes, and then they blow out Thor's butt. Did you see that?
Yep.
Are we gonna see his butt in theaters?
Yeah, probably.
So. We deserve it. We deserve to see Chris Hemsworth's butt.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Well, that's
it looks fine. It got me a little more excited, but just because of the Christian Bale of it all. Do you think Thor's gonna die? Do you think he'll die?
I think someone will die.
I think Thor's gonna bite it. I think he'll save him or save Jane.
What do you guys think of the whole Jane as Mighty Thor's thing? I mean, that just from what you saw in the trailer, that was very odd.
It was different than I thought they were gonna introduce her, because it looks like she's already established as Thor, and he's like surprised by it. So I'm curious to see how they do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, it just looks like Natalie Portman in a Thor costume. So
she got pretty jacked.
Yeah, she got jacked.
I wonder if there is a little bit of multiverse still going on. I mean, that's what Phase 4 seems to be all about. I wonder if this isn't all Jane.
That is an interesting theory.
Those are thoughts that I have to sit on for the next week. So
well, guys,
let's
hour
wrap
20 into this.
Yeah,
thing.
let's wrap this up.
We gotta get this out.
Nick, I know you had an Obi-Wan prediction. Let's hear that real quick here.
It's Obi-Wan week.
Yeah, I was just sitting at work at my desk, and I thought, wait, is Palpatine gonna be in this show? So I think it would be weird if he wasn't in some capacity, at least for a scene.
Yep.
I feel like we need a scene between him and Vader, since he was the one who got Anakin's burning body off Mustafar.
Right.
So something to kind of twist the knife, like, hey, Obi-Wan left you there to literally die. So seeing the last Palpatine we got sucked majorly. Like, that was so shoehorned. That was so stupid. Oh my god. Now I'm thinking about Rise of Skywalker, and that was so stupid.
Okay, let's.
But I feel a good way to like kind of make people forget about that is have him back as Palpatine for like a scene, no more than like 2-3 minutes. Like mainline continuity Palpatine explain, like kind of twisting the knife on Vader. That's kind of my theory going into it.
I'm sure that'll happen. I don't think that'd be like a big surprise though. I mean, I was kind of anticipating him to pop up for a scene or two.
I mean, I still think that's a very worthy prediction.
But do you guys have anything fun?
But Palpatine showing up would not have nearly the impact of Vader showing up, and we know Vader's going to show up. So
Vader's been teased.
I know. I'm saying even us knowing that Vader is coming back fully formed, we're going to see Vader. We're going to see Vader versus Obi-Wan. I mean, we know we're going to see it.
Yeah.
Who cares about Palpatine at that point? I mean, come on. I am so psyched. I honestly, I'm a proponent of get rid of as many cameos as you get rid of it all. Get rid of it all. I just want to see Obi-Wan and Vader, and I just want to see Obi-Wan's story, and then I want you to show us Vader without Obi-Wan. Like, what's going on with Vader right now? I just want to see those two characters. I would love this show to be a character show about just those two characters. That's
Yeah.
what I want.
How funny would it be if when they fought, it was like the same speed as like A New Hope, where it was like
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that would actually be
that
quite
would
hilarious.
be that would I would laugh.
I
out loud
would
if
laugh.
they were fighting at that speed.
Yep, that wouldn't diminish anything for me, honestly. I think that would just elevate my.
We
review.
have not had a good lightsaber fight since Revenge of the Sith. And we haven't had a good lightsaber fight since Revenge of the Sith, and I think we're gonna get a good one here. And ironically, it's between the two same people.
Yep. And honestly, I really don't have any recommendations. I'd love to see maybe a hint, because who are the what are the evil knights called, Nick? They're
Inquisitors.
The Inquisitors. I'd love to see like a little hint into, and they're probably not going to do this, but into that video game, Jedi Fallen Order.
It looks like we're gonna go to that same water base that you infiltrate. in,
Yeah.
like, the end. That's in the trailer.
I'd
I
love
think that's
just
on
a
the
little
Planet
hint
Nerd.
of like, oh, yeah, the Inquisitors are dealing with this issue that we're experiencing with.
Except
a young...
that I guess it could line up.
I think
Because
it
that
kind of
happened-
does line up.
How many years after Revenge of the Sith was Fallen Order? Like
I can't remember, but I
5
mean,
or
it's still
6?
very strong. The Inquisitors are still very much alive, so, and we don't get any
because
Inquisitors.
it definitely happens like right before Obi-Wan, because I believe Obi-Wan is 10.
Yeah. Regardless, I'm excited to see the Inquisitors.
Looks cool.
So I think they're a really cool little group that it hasn't been highlighted very much outside of Fallen Order, and so I'm very excited to see them.
They're
So-
literally like the main bad guys in Rebels.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
watched
a lot of
Rebels,
them.
so that'll.
Rebels is awesome. You should watch
Yeah.
Rebels. All right, guys, we should just wrap it up. We'll talk about what we've been watching next week. It's going on an hour and a half here.
Yeah.
We gotta close it up. So next week, jam-packed episode. Top Gun Maverick. Are we having a guest on for that? We talked about having a particular guest. Are we bringing him on?
Is he still down? Well, is
He's
he
ready.
still down?
He's ready. I prepped him.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah. You know what?
Yep.
We're gonna have a fun special guest on next
Apparently,
week.
I'm
so-
not gonna.
Should we bring? Are we gonna bring him on for the whole thing or just the review?
I feel like just for the review.
We'll take this offline. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But that's big episode next week. We'll have a guest. Top Gun Maverick. First 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. First 7 episodes of Stranger Things. Plus probably some stories that would drop. It's gonna be big. Big
Yep.
episode.
I'm
Looking forward
excited,
to it, guys.
I'm excited. Thanks for tuning in to episode 12 of Podland. I'm one of your co-hosts, Ian, joined alongside my buddies Nick and Jason, and we are signing off for the night. So thank you. See you guys.
Love you, Mom.